Oh, is it go time?
Yep.
Oh.
Do your intro. Come on.
Hey guys, Dustin here with Custom Offsets TV on the YouTube. Today I'm joined by Lawson.
What's up?
And we're back with another episode of From the Gallery. So if you don't know, that's where we take your gallery ads, rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not so hot and 10 being pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I haven't done one of these in a really long time. And the last time I did one, it was my first one, and the first one's always intimidating because you don't know whether to give them a high number and be nice or to give them a low number. And I just need to be myself and give honest opinions.
Let's jump into it. All right, up first, 1971 Chevy K10 pickup. Damn. Specialty Forge SF010 22 by 12 minus 44 Nitto Ridge Graps and a 33 12.5 with a 6-inch rough country suspension lift kit.
Well done.
Yeah, this color is super dope. It's got like the blue, you know, and then it's got the yellow half paint job there on just the cab roof. That wheel is so simple for this truck.
Yeah, which I think is good for like an older body style.
Yeah, it's got the original chrome mirrors, which tie really well into like the bumper and the wheel choice there. Looks super good. Obviously repainted, redone at some point. So really sharp looking truck, and not really a whole lot else to discuss. So let's rate it. You ready?
Cool. Yep.
3, 2, 1, 9.5. Really?
8.
I like it. I
like it too.
Just simple to please. I don't know, but it's hard to find a truck of this vintage that's in this good a shape.
Yeah.
So.
I was leaning between like 8 and 9. The blue and yellow just doesn't do it for me personally. I'm like a black or white.
Black
and
and
and that's just like me. But the condition that it's in for its year is super impressive. And for him to put, new school, specialty forge, and some Nitto Ridge grapplers on an old body style, 71 K10 is pretty impressive.
Cool. All right, let's move on. Up next, 1994 Ford Bronco Fuel Anza. Is that how you say that? Anza?
Oh yeah. Fuel Anzas.
17 by 8.5 minus 6 Toyo Open Country MTs and a 35 12.5 and a James Duff 3.5-inch suspension lift kit. This thing is dope.
This thing's wild.
Like, what?
I love those wheels from Fuel. They're super dope. And like it fits the color, like literally perfect fit for the paint scheme on this thing.
For real. So he's got obviously a very like, holy cow.
All right.
That engine bay is spotless.
Yeah.
Polished pulleys, painted everything.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Okay. As I was saying, he's got a super like off-roady build, but it's still really showy. So it's got the cowl hood, but he's got the painted to match fender flares, but they're still the bolt-on style fender flares, obviously murdered out on the windows, just black as they come. So it's a 3.5-inch long arm with a 3-inch body, so 6.5 a total lift. Okay, so it's a 66 chassis with a 71 body and a 347 stroker with an overdrive trans. So. Definitely a lot of attention to detail on this one. Man, this thing is so sweet.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's rate it.
Yeah, let's rate it.
3, 2, 1,
10. There's just no way. Like I would have probably gone 15.
If that was an option.
If it was an option. The thing is insanely clean.
Yeah.
And to take and do a different chassis and the stroker and have everything beautiful and clean and just overall, I'm at a loss for words because the thing is just so beautiful.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. I think for me, it's not only is it gorgeous, right, but his attention to his or hers attention to detail here is just it's phenomenal. I mean, every little bit of this was handpicked from the suspension with the the resi shocks all the way up to a stroker engine in there with obviously a clean a shaved and tucked engine bay. And everything about this thing is fantastic. I
want to see this guy do like a truck build, like a show truck build, because this guy is definitely attention to detail, show vehicle builder.
For sure. Up next, 1977 GMC K1500, hostile sprockets and a 22 by 14 minus 76, Canadi Mudhog 37 by 13.5, and a 6-inch super lift suspension lift kit. This thing's cool too. It's that really deep, like classic Chevy blue.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah, that's about the only way I get away from my white and black is like the old school classic colors. This thing's sick.
Yeah, those Canadis on there too, you know, in a 37, 13 and a half are just over $1,000. So definitely a very affordable tire option and pretty awesome there as well. So they look really good too.
Yeah.
You know, they have a pretty aggressive tread pattern. So we got some aftermarket taillights going on there. Obviously everything else is painted to match. Looks like the factory rear bumper, if I'm not mistaken. Little chrome exhaust tip hanging out the side. Let's rate it.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1,
9.
7. And I feel so bad doing that because this is a mint example of a late 70s truck. But I love the color, I love the wheels. The front end, for me, there's so many ways you can take the front end on these, you know, half-ton GM trucks, and this just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
You know.
I think for me, I've seen a lot of restored older trucks, and every single time I feel like there always has a certain way that you want the wheels to look, and every single time I see one with hostiles, especially you know this setup, the sprocket just does it for the older vehicles. And I like how he stuck with chrome, and the rest is chrome, and he has that classic blue.
Yep.
There's nothing really I would change, like you said, maybe like the grille or headlights,
or even front bumper action or something. You know, just something to break that front end.
I wasn't
up
a huge fan of the taillights, but overall, pretty dope truck.
Up next, 1986 Chevy K20 TIS 544s, which is an interesting choice for an older truck like that. 22x12s, Cooper Discover STT Pros, and a 37 13 and a half. And it just says custom air suspension. This thing is loud.
Custom air suspension?
Yeah, let's see if he's got anything in the notes down here. 12 valve Cummins swap, custom paint, full air ride, 12-inch lift.
Oh my goodness.
Damn.
This dude's not playing around.
No, he's not. Massive front bumper on there, billet grille, painted to match the front headlight bezels. He's got this like cool lightning kind of pattern going down the side.
Yeah.
Jesus, that front bumper is gigantic.
Front bumper's insane.
It's especially with the two big bars up in the middle, you know?
I feel bad for whatever gets hit by this thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, if the front diff doesn't take care of it, the front bumper will.
Yeah.
These almost look like custom fab side steps in there, you know? It's crazy too. 37s he's on, right? Yeah, they don't even look big.
What? That was one of the things I was gonna nitpick.
Yeah, 37s.
And I was gonna nitpick, I thought he was on like something smaller.
No, this thing is just that big.
The truck's just huge.
Crazy, absolutely crazy. Wanna rate it?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1,
7.5.
Whoa!
Whoa, dang. Spot on.
Yeah, it's super cool. He's obviously got a ton of work into it. It's not my taste. Like the paint for me is
it's just not doing it for me.
A bit much.
Yeah.
Even if it was just a whited out truck, I think maybe it would look a little bit different. But and that's probably custom airbrush work. So a guy probably took has a ton of time into it.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's just that and the front bumper they just don't do it for me.
I'd say the front bumper, the size of it, up towards the grill portion is just really not my taste. I'm more of like a clean build. If that's your taste, awesome. That's super sick.
Yeah.
There's Chevy emblems literally everywhere. So like that's something that I also would change. Clearly, he's a big Chevy guy.
Yeah.
But he put a ton of work into this truck. So shout out to this guy for really doing that. We come from an era where we walk out in the shop and all you're seeing is amp power steps and 2414s and 35. It just is what it is.
And it's probably a late, a 90s build, mid to late 90s build, and for that period, it's spot on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right there. So.
Yeah, and if that's like the era that was your get down, this dude's spot on.
Yep, nailed it. Just not my taste.
Yeah.
So cool. Last but not least, 1978 Dodge W200 Fuel Maverick D538s and a 20x14 D-Stone Mud Crawler 37 12.5s and a 9-inch custom suspension lift. This thing is hot.
Yeah, this thing's sick.
So right away I notice, obviously I don't believe that was a factory paint code for those trucks. It's kind of a reddish, orangish.
Yeah.
It's got the blacked out front grille with some LED light action going on. Cubes up in the front bumper there. Ooh, a little bit of rock light action going on.
Rock light action.
A little purple. Love me some rock lights. For a regular cab short box truck, a lot of times when you get them really big, they look kind of unproportional, but this thing looks super good. Ooh, the rear end of that truck is clean.
Yeah.
Because those
this whole build is pretty clean.
I think those came with the big inlay on those tailgates, right?
Yeah.
So, hi Vanker.
Hi,
When
Vanker.
are you gonna come back on from the gallery? The people want to know.
What do you think about this truck?
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Ooh.
You want to rate it with us?
First gen. This is an absolutely beautiful truck.
Yes, it is. You want to rate it?
Yeah.
Let's do
I'll rate
it. Ready, boys?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
9. 7? Tell the people why.
I like the truck a lot. I wish he had interior pictures and it would probably go up from there. I just picture that it has like one of those saddle blankets over the seat. Because like he did a bunch of work on the outside and didn't do anything on the inside.
And it's got like the seat foam is like cut out in the side where it's all worn off.
Yeah.
Just focus on the exterior and just the interior is
Just
destroyed.
trashed.
Yeah. Just because that's what's typical up here.
That's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah.
So if this is your truck,
Upload some interior pictures.
upload some interior pictures. I love being able to see custom interiors because if you've seen me on that in the from the gallery, I like detail stuff.
Yes.
That's true.
The more pictures, the better, people.
Cool. Especially
leave
high
it
quality
back.
photos. Okay, bye. Thanks for the cameo. All right, so here's why it's a 10 for me while Lawson's sticking around. I'm like, I really like this thing. I have a super soft spot for these trucks. I've talked about it a little bit before. My granddad had a W250 growing up, so like my earliest childhood memories were hauling calves down to the local stockyard to sell them every Wednesday in a W250 with the little, they had like the little box down by your feet that you opened up because it didn't have air conditioning.
The only reason why I went with a 9 and not a 10 was same theme that we've been going for this whole time is just not my paint color.
Sure.
And back in the day, that orangish red was huge, and you know everyone loved those super vibrant, bright colors. It just isn't me. You know, slap some black or and the rest of it is black. I couldn't even imagine this thing blacked out.
Oh.
You know, it would be nuts.
It'd be hot.
And
Yeah,
then
I'll
you have
murder
your
that.
and then you have your purple coming down on the ground. I think it'd be sick. I'm a sucker for Fuel Mavericks. I think they're insane. Super clean wheel. Have always loved them since day one.
Yeah, such an iconic.
And that
wheel.
you slapped a 9-inch lift on such a classic, iconic, Dodge is pretty impressive and
It's
it's super
dope.
sick. So
I love it. Well, there you have it, guys. There's another episode of From the Gallery. Thank you, Lawson, for joining
absolutely,
us today.
this is always fun.
If you want your truck for the chance, or if you want to have the chance to have your truck rated, you want to head on over to customoffsets.com/ad, and we'll do that cool thing that PJ hates where you go, and that's
Yes.
it. That's it. We're out.
Awesome.
Okay, bye.